Once upon a time, in a beautiful village, there lived a little girl named Aishi, who was a dreamer, deeply enchanted by the magical world of fairy tales. Every evening when she went to bed, her mother would read her a story, and this was Aishi's favorite moment of the day. As her mother's voice echoed through the room, Aishi's eyes would widen and her imagination would soar. One day, Aishi's mother fell ill and became bedridden. Despite the village doctor's best efforts, her health did not improve. Aishi missed her mother dearly, especially the nightly story readings and the warm embrace that followed. One night, before going to sleep, Aishi sat next to her mother and told her it was her turn to read the story. With her mother's weak hand gently stroking her head, Aishi gathered her courage and began telling a story for the first time. She started a tale set in a magical forest where a fairy was chasing after a lost bird to guide it home. Aishi stretched the limits of her imagination, narrating the fairy's adventures. The fairy encountered friendly creatures, mysterious underground caves, and enchanted waters that helped her on her quest to find the bird. As Aishi's story progressed, one exciting event followed another. The fairy faced difficult obstacles and at times felt hopeless, but Aishi gave her courage. The listener was captivated by the surprising events that befell the fairy. Finally, the moment came when the fairy found the lost bird. When Aishi finished the story, her eyes sparkled. Her mother smiled happily and took a deep breath. As Aishi thanked her mother for letting her share the story, she conveyed a heartfelt message. Stories don't just live in our imagination. They can give us hope and courage in real life, too. If we believe, we can discover the strength within us and overcome challenges. With a weak but loving smile, her mother embraced Aishi. "You have always given me hope, Aishi. Your stories have become real for me." That night, Aishi's story became a cherished memory shared by her mother's side. Growing up with the power of fairy tales, Aishi continued to instill hope and courage in those she loved. And perhaps one day, she would find the courage to write her own fairy tale book. The end. Once upon a time, in the village where Aishi lived, the sun greeted a new day. Aishi woke up early in the morning and looked out the window. The sky was like a painting, with colorful birds flying and the sunlight shining brightly. That day, Aishi had no school because it was a holiday. So she and her mother decided to go to the forest. Her mother was feeling better now, strong enough to take a walk. Aishi thought this adventure would feel like a fairy tale and was excited. When they reached the forest, Aishi and her mother began walking into the depths of the magical woods. Along the way, they encountered talking trees, singing flowers, and dancing butterflies. Each of them thanked Aishi and told her about their own fairy tales. Suddenly, a young deer crossed their path. The little deer had lost its mother and was very sad. Aishi immediately wanted to help. Together with her mother, they set off to find the deer's mother. By a stream in the forest, they found the deer's mother. Reunited, the young deer leaped with joy and gave Aishi a grateful look. As Aishi and her mother left the forest, Aishi had an idea. "Mom, we can help our friends in the forest too. We can tell their stories as well." Her mother loved Aishi's idea and looked at her with pride. From that day on, Aishi and her mother went to the forest every week to share stories with the forest's inhabitants. Aishi's stories echoed in every corner of the woods, and all the creatures were filled with joy from her tales. Thus, Aishi's stories not only gave hope and courage to people, but also to all the creatures of the forest. Aishi realized that stories were not just words. They could touch everyone's heart